Welcome back, audience, my alphas. Tonight, we cross a threshold you can't unsee because of you, and that's exactly how it should be. You weren't born to blend into the quiet, the dull, the grey static of mediocrity. You weren't carved by the chaos of your past, just to kneel to normality. Tonight we talk about the truth, the wild, unchained, uncomfortable truth. And when you speak it, when you become it, the world will shake. People will scream. Bridges will burn. But that's the sound of evolution. That's the sound of an alpha refusing to be tamed. You weren't designed to please. You were built to reign. You see, when the truth erupts from your throat like a volcano, when your actions expose the comfortable lies others have built their lives around, it terrifies them. It terrifies them because it forces them to see what they've ignored for years. You've held back for so long, afraid of judgment, rejection, exile, but now something darker has awakened in you. The part that no longer begs to be understood. The part that watches people crumble under the weight of your reality. You've become a mirror, and mirrors don't lie. They reflect. And sometimes, what they reflect makes people shatter. You are the chaos that reminds them they are sleeping. You are the sirens screaming through their dream world. And yes, when you break that illusion, they'll hate you for it, but only because you did what they couldn't. You dared to shatter their delusions. You dared to become. When you ripped the veil off, when you exposed the rot underneath, it wasn't weakness. It was transformation. They call it betrayal. They call it madness. But that's because they're still shackled. You've embraced your shadow. And that shadow, it's not a flaw. It's not something to fix or filter. It is power, raw and unfiltered. It is every suppressed scream you swallowed, every time you bit your tongue, every ounce of fire they told you to bury. But you didn't bury it, did you? You fed it. You let it grow in silence, in solitude. And now it's too big to hide. It walks beside you. It is you. And people are flipping out because you finally set it loose. You've become something they don't have a name for. Something they can't predict, can't pacify, can't control. Remember this, when they look at you now, they're not seeing someone who's gone too far. They're seeing someone who's gone further than they ever could. That's where the fear comes from. That's why they whisper, why they rage, why they try to cast you as the villain in a story they no longer get to write. But guess what? The villain doesn't ask for permission. The villain doesn't explain. The villain acts, and the world reacts. You have become the consequence of their comfort, the reaper of their denial, and they should be afraid. You didn't reveal some petty secret. You revealed yourself. That's the most dangerous thing anyone can do in a world built on masks. You showed up real, unfiltered, brutal. You told the truth with your chest, and now they're scrambling to reassemble their shattered illusions. That's not your burden. That's not your problem. Let them scramble. Let them panic. The weak always drown in the waves that the strong create. You're not here to be liked. You're here to leave impact scars. You're here to change the frequency of the room just by entering it. And the truth is, it's not that you said too much. It's that you finally said what needed to be said. And now the silence is broken. Now there's blood in the water. Now the game has changed. You've detonated your presence in a space built to mute you. And that explosion, that chaos, that fear, it's your victory parade. Because this isn't just about shock value. This is about soul value. This is about deciding that your existence won't be another quiet apology. This is about knowing your worth isn't negotiable. You're not a question mark anymore. You're a full stop, a declaration, a statement in every breath, a war cry in every step. They thought you'd stay docile. They thought you'd stay in the mold they made for you. And now that you've outgrown it, now that you've burned it down, they're terrified because they know they can't put you back. Let that sink in. They can't unsee you now. They can't unhear your truth. You're no longer the shadow in the corner. You're the fire in the room. And every second you stay in this flame, you evolve. Every insult, every whisper, every attempt to silence you is just more fuel. Keep feeding the fire. Because from this point on, you're not just living, you're ascending. And you're dragging every fake facade into the light with you. This path is dark. It's not lined with praise. It's lined with fear, misunderstanding, and envy. But guess what? That's how you know you're walking the right road. Legends aren't born in applause. They're born in exile. They're forged in the moments when everyone turns their back and you still move forward. You keep walking while the world watches in disbelief, unable to process the force you've become. That's power. That's purpose. That's you. You're not misunderstood. You're just ahead of your time. You're not too much. They're just too small. They can't digest your depth, so they try to choke it. But you breathe fire now. You don't flinch. You don't fold. You reveal. You expose. And the world will never be ready for that, but it will never forget you either. So let them flip out. Let them spiral. Let them try to twist your truth into something easier for them to stomach. But don't you ever shrink to fit their comfort again. Don't you ever dull your fire to keep their shadows intact. You are the storm. You are the flood. You are the reckoning wrapped in skin. And this chaos they feel, it's just the beginning. You've chosen to awaken. You've chosen to stop living someone else's script. You've chosen discomfort over decay, destruction over deception, and truth over tranquility. It's not an easy choice, but it's the only one that leads to freedom. You will lose people. You will be feared, but you will never be broken again. And that's the trade that makes gods out of mortals. You see, once you've awakened, there's no going back. Once you've revealed who you truly are, not the mask, not the role, not the diluted version they were comfortable with, but the raw, uncut, untamable you, the world around you must rearrange or burn, trying. This is your era now. You don't step into a room and ask for a seat at the table anymore. You flip the damn table if it wasn't built for you. And if they can't handle that, let them choke on their silence while you carve a throne from the ashes. People say you've changed. Number. You've returned. You've remembered. You dug through your own bones to find the original blueprint, the beast that was buried beneath expectations and politeness and guilt. And now that it's here, breathing, roaring, moving, you finally understand. The world wasn't rejecting you. It was reacting to the lie you were pretending to be. But now the mask is gone, and your voice isn't shaking anymore. It's shaking them. You were never meant to be palatable. You were meant to be powerful. You were never meant to tiptoe through glass for people who'd throw you off cliffs. You are not fragile. You were forged, built in the fires of abandonment, betrayal, confusion, rage, and clarity. Every scar on your soul is a sigil of survival. Every scream you swallowed is now a sword in your mouth. So speak, loudly, brutally. Let the walls hear you. Let the cowards feel the quake in their bones when your truth walks in. You didn't ruin anything. You revealed everything. And now the illusion is bleeding. That's why they panic. Because if your truth is real, their lie crumbles. If your path is righteous, their comfort is cowardice. If your presence is power, their control is gone. So let them tremble. Let them throw stones. Storm doesn't stop to argue with the trees it rips from the ground. It moves. This is the moment you were made for. That inner war, the ache, the grind, the torment. It wasn't punishment. It was preparation. You were being sharpened, strengthened, sculpted into something terrifyingly true. And now, you've become the proof that surviving wasn't enough. You were destined to thrive, to rise above not just the pain, but the pattern, to break the generational curses, to kill the silence that runs in your blood, to redefine what strength looks like. And in that process, you have made enemies. Good. If you have no enemies, it means you've never stood for anything real. If everyone loves you, it means you've never dared to confront them with truth. But you've pulled truth like a blade. You've let it shine in the dark. You've let it cut. And those cuts are not wounds. They are awakenings. They are invitations for others to rise or run. Either way, you keep walking. Because the awakened don't explain, they demonstrate. And that's what your life has become now, a demonstration. A loud, unstoppable demonstration of what happens when someone stops begging to be seen and starts burning to be felt. You've become the signal fire on the mountaintop that no one can ignore anymore. You've become the last thing they see before their delusions die. And here's the dark truth. Most people don't want to change. They want to be soothed. They want you to stay small so they never have to confront how big you've become. But you've outgrown that cage. You've smashed the locks. You've walked through hell and come out dangerous. You don't flinch anymore. You don't fold. You've become exactly what the world fears. Someone who cannot be controlled. There's no applause coming. No parade. No validation. Good. Because you didn't rise for their praise. You rose for your purpose. And that purpose is disruption. That purpose is destruction. Of lies, of limits, of everything you once were that no longer fits. Every second you spend trying to be digestible to people who are starving spiritually is a betrayal to your own fire. So let it burn. Let them see it. Let them be blinded by it. You've become the moment. You've become the message. The question isn't, why are they flipping out? The real question is, why did it take you so long to ignite this way? You were always this force. You were just trained to tame it. Now the leash is broken, and you are wild again. And wild doesn't apologize. This new version of you, it's not about revenge. It's about reclamation. Reclaiming your time, your truth, your throne. You didn't ask for permission. You didn't knock. You kicked the damn door in because waiting was killing you. And now that you've tasted power, tasted peace that isn't quiet but earned, tasted a life where you no longer play a role, you won't go back. They'll call it arrogance. It's not. It's alignment. They'll call it delusion. It's not. It's destiny. They'll call it darkness. And in some ways, they're right. You are darkness, but not the kind they fear under the bed. You are the darkness that reveals the stars, the darkness that kills the false light, the darkness that brings the truth. So no, you're not going to shrink again. You're not going to edit yourself into their comfort zones. They should be flipping out. They should be shaking. Because someone like you, awake, alive, unafraid, is the end of their illusions. You're the beginning of a new order, and it doesn't ask, it commands. You are not the same. You are no longer a whisper. You are a war cry. You are not a question. You are the final answer. You are not a secret. You are the shockwave. And from this moment on, every room you enter remembers you. Not because you tried to fit, but because you exploded the mold. You've made sure they'll never forget what happens when truth walks in uninvited. Keep going. Let the world burn around you if it must. You are not made of paper. You are fireproof. You are forged in the furnace of your own rebirth. Let the ones who fear you label it whatever they want. Madness, ego, chaos. But know this. The universe doesn't call it destruction. The universe calls it evolution. And evolution doesn't ask. It devours. You did not come this far to dim. You did not fight this long to fold. And you sure as hell didn't wake the beast inside you just to put it back in chains. This is your time. This is your reign. Let them flip out. Let them scream. Let them try to erase what you revealed. But you you will keep moving, keep rising, keep revealing. And if they want peace again, they'll have to evolve or be consumed. They tried to silence you, contain you, shame you into retreat. But now that the fire is out, now that the truth is loose, there's no cage that can hold what you've become. You've gone too far to be pulled back by weak hands and quieter voices. You've broken their control mechanisms, their guilt traps, their manipulative compliments, their backhanded tolerance. You see them now. You see everything now. You don't just walk with clarity, you are clarity. And clarity is terrifying for those addicted to confusion. You are not a mistake. You are not an accident. You are an event. You are the wild answer to prayers whispered in fear, the sudden realization that the game is over and the board is flipped. This isn't about revenge. This is about the reckoning. This is what it looks like when someone refuses to die small. This is the aftermath of survival, the uprising. You didn't just survive the storm, you became it. And now, they feel the shift. They feel it in their bones when you speak, when you walk, when you exist. That's why they're flipping out. That's why they whisper and watch and rage. You are the death of their comfort, the death of their control. You are the return of your divine rage, the sacred anger that was never meant to be silenced but channeled. Every time they told you to calm down, every time they told you to wait your turn, every time they taught you to be smaller so they could feel bigger, it was a lie. And you just revealed the truth. You shattered the program. You said the quiet part loud. You stood up and let your voice echo like a funeral bell for every fake version of yourself they tried to dress you in. And now that it's dead, now that the costume is ashes, the world has to deal with the real you. And the real you doesn't play by their rules. The real you doesn't beg, doesn't break, doesn't bleed for their applause. You no longer live in fear of being too much. You fear being less than what you were called to be. That's why you move differently. That's why your silence feels louder than their screams. Because you don't seek validation anymore. You are the standard now. You've tasted truth, and it's sweeter than their pity, stronger than their praise, and far more dangerous than their lies. They don't know what to do with someone like you, someone who's burned through illusion and walked out of the fire without flinching. Someone who doesn't need to prove a damn thing. Someone who revealed everything, sacrificed everything, and still walked forward with blood on their teeth and light in their eyes. Let them call it ego. You know it's embodiment. Let them call it destruction. You know it's destiny. Let them label you a problem, a threat, a mistake. You are all of those things and more, because problems expose cracks, threats demand change, and mistakes shift paradigms. You are the glitch in the matrix, the uncodable variable, the unwelcome truth that cannot be deleted. So, what now? You walk, you build, you command, you don't look back, you don't explain, you don't shrink, you don't pause to comfort the ones who refuse to grow. If they can't meet your fire, they can sit in the cold. You've given enough, you've explained enough, you've bled enough. Now is the time for execution. This isn't the part where you compromise. This is the part where you conquer. And you conquer not by dominance, but by authenticity, by being so unshakably you that nothing outside of you can change the direction of your soul. They can't manipulate you now. They can't tempt you with safety. They can't bribe you with normalcy, because you've seen what happens when you play small. You die inside, and you're done dying. So let them flip out. Let them run. Let them cry betrayal. You are not betraying them. You are betraying the silence that kept you caged. You are betraying the version of you that accepted crumbs and called it loyalty. You are betraying the lie and choosing your life instead. You are not chasing acceptance anymore. You are chasing expansion. And that means growing beyond the people who only liked you when you were quiet. That means rising above the ones who were comfortable only when you were beneath them. That means losing the ones who only loved your mask, not your face. And that loss, it's not pain, it's purification, it's pruning, it's proof that you're evolving. Because the higher you rise, the more weight you have to drop. This is spiritual physics. This is what it takes to soar. You are not meant to carry dead things into your destiny. Let them fall. Let them rot. Let the echoes fade. You're not climbing anymore. You're ascending. And the ones flipping out, they're just echoes of your old world screaming as you tear through the veil. They don't matter. Their noise doesn't reach you now. You are in a new frequency, a higher vibration, a deeper alignment. You are not in the room anymore. You are the storm that surrounds it. Let that sink in. Let the full weight of your power settle into your bones. This is you, the unfiltered, unchained, unapologetic you. And it is glorious. It is divine. It is dangerous in all the ways that matter. This is your final form. Not what they groomed, but what you grew into, what you bled for, what you burned for. You did not come this far to be domesticated. You are a sovereign force now, a wild, holy thing. And the only rule left is this: do not go back. Do not return to the people, the patterns, the programming that made you doubt yourself. Do not dim for anyone too blind to see your light. Do not explain your fire to the ones who worship shadows. Let them burn or let them learn. But you move forward. You create. You conquer. With no apology, with no hesitation, with no leash. So when they say, "Brooo Wtf, did you just reveal?" You look them in the eye and say, "Everything you tried to hide, everything you feared I'd become, everything I always was, but now, unleashed, let the world flip out. You're just getting started. You revealed the truth, and now the world is flipping out because they can't control what they can't contain. Let them. Their fear is proof you've stepped into your power. Don't shrink. Don't explain. You've awakened, and there's no going back. This is your rise, your reign, your reckoning. Let the fire speak, let the silence burn, and walk on, because the unstoppable never apologize.